Coming up, after numerous sexual assault allegations against Cesar Chavez, how is the UTRGV student body responding?
And I think it's also, in another way, a lot of people are looking down on Hispanics because of this.
Plus, a third No Kings protest was held over the weekend. Details ahead.
And swords will clash as UTRGV gets ready to hold its first ever Renaissance Fair.
KVAQ-TV starts now.
Good morning, vaqueros. I'm Dayton Tervino.
And I'm Perla Cortez. Today is Monday, March 30th, and this is the 10th spring edition of KVAQ-TV.
Let's start today's newscast with our top story. After the release of sexual assault allegations against activist Cesar Chavez, an RGV Hispanic organization, Lupe, released a statement on Thursday condemning his actions and supporting the women who came forward. How are UTRGV students reacting to the news, and what did the United Farm Workers respond with since the allegations? Perla Cortez reports on the details.
What initially sparked a national movement and inspiration for farm workers over 40 years ago now leaves some questioning the disguise behind the hero.
For Hispanics, it's good to have so many people that we look up to and people who fought for our rights, and so it's really upsetting, to just see all of that bashed. And I think it's also, in another way, a lot of people are looking down on Hispanics because of this.
La Unión del Pueblo Entero, Lupe, shared a post on Thursday stating, "We value the courage of survivors to speak out and value how and when to share their truths." It also stated how it will continue to support the movement for Hispanics and spark a change for the future. Cesar Chavez was an American political activist who formed a union to advocate for farm worker rights, United Farm Workers, alongside Dolores Huerta and Philip Veracruz. On March 17, 1966, the UFW started a march with over 100 Mexican-American and Filipino farm workers, traveling from Delano, California to the state's capital on foot to show the public and lawmakers on the mistreatment to farmers and demand fundamental rights. Fast forward to March 18, 2026, the New York Times had published an article of nearly 5 years' worth of investigating after a tip was received of Chavez's past. In the findings, multiple women came forward as sexual abuse victims, varying from colleagues to underage girls at the time. I spoke with 22 students on campus, and only a few students agreed to comment on the topic. Half of the students who denied the interview did not know about the allegations or knew who Cesar Chavez was. Biology sophomore Aliana Flores says the movement of United Farm Workers has a deep meaning within her family. She says she and her grandparents were a part of an annual march held in San Antonio to celebrate farm worker rights. Flores says although the allegations harm Chavez, she believes it should not harm the message of the movement, but instead highlight the importance of Dolores Huerta and honor her courage.
I can't imagine what type of trauma she must have been dealing with, but still, work alongside him because she knew that this was a problem that still had to be fought for, even if she was dealing with those things.
Integrated Health Science sophomore Katie Ortega also agrees with keeping the message alive. She says that prior to the allegations, Chavez was glorified, but after the allegations, Ortega says he is now humanized.
My first thought was seriously again, because I feel like we just keep hearing these stories about all of these public figures that have had these for lack of a better word sketchy pasts, and it's kind of how far does this go, And now after hearing all this, I feel like he's definitely more humanized. It's more seen that he is really and truly just like all of us, and he makes mistakes like all of us in that sense.
Since the allegations, current president of the UFW has put out a statement stating, "As a women-led organization that exists to empower communities, the allegations about abusive behavior by Cesar Chavez go against everything that we stand for. These disturbing allegations involve inappropriate behavior by Cesar Chavez with young women and minors. They are shocking, indefensible, and something we are taking seriously." KVAQ-TV reached out to Lupe and Lucha Hispanic organizations for a comment, but none were made. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Perla Cortez.
Un grupo de estudiantes de UTRGV fue testigo de largas filas de TSA en uno de los aeropuertos más grandes del país durante un viaje escolar. Ahora que han regresado a casa, ¿cuál es la causa de estas filas y cómo ha reaccionado el Valle a esta situación?
Estudiante de marketing de cuarto año, Seth Vega dice haber visto largas filas en el Aeropuerto Internacional O'Hare de Chicago. Al pasar 10 horas esperando por su vuelo en un viaje escolar, Vega comparte lo que vio con KVAQ-TV.
Logramos pasar por TSA sin muchos problemas, pero cuando estábamos sentados en nuestra terminal por varias horas, sí logramos ver que se hicieron las filas alrededor del lugar.
La semana pasada, canales de noticias reportaron filas de hasta 8 horas en aeropuertos de ciudades como Houston, Boston y San Francisco. Los residentes que salen del valle, como Vega, son los que son afectados por esto. Vega viajó a Chicago por parte del grupo estudiantil de la American Marketing Association de Edinburgh, junto a 6 compañeros. Vega comparte cómo evitó estar esperando por horas en las filas.
Llegar temprano ayudó y no tuvimos que estar en las filas largas.
El profesor asistente de Ciencias Políticas, Álvaro Corral, dice que las largas filas se deben al impacto sufrido por la Administración de Seguridad de Transporte, o TSA por sus siglas en inglés, frente al más reciente cierre de gobierno.
Los demócratas y los republicanos en el Congreso no se pueden poner de acuerdo en un proyecto de ley del presupuesto del gobierno para pagar las operaciones del gobierno federal.
Aquí en el Valle la situación es muy diferente, ya que los centros de vuelo siguen operando regularmente. A pesar de esto, comentarios hechos en redes sociales también apuntan al posible cierre de aeropuertos debido al impacto a TSA. Una publicación alega que el Aeropuerto Internacional de McAllen es uno de los centros de vuelo identificados. Sin embargo, director de aviación Jeremy Santoscoy dice que estos rumores no tienen validez.
Las personas no se deberían preocupar por todo el ruido en las redes sociales. Si hubiera algo que decir al público, lo haríamos. Lo escucharían de primera mano del aeropuerto.
A diferencia del cierre de gobierno ocurrido a finales de 2025, este cierre es parcial, ya que solo se ve afectado el Departamento de Seguridad Nacional, también llamado DHS, por las recientes acciones controversiales de ICE. Agencias como ICE y TSA forman parte de DHS, por lo que, al no tener un presupuesto, sus empleados no han recibido su salario desde que comenzó el cierre el 14 de febrero.
Al ser lo que se llama trabajadores esenciales para el gobierno, tienen que ir a trabajar a pesar de que sí se les pague o no.
Santoscoy dice que el aeropuerto de McAllen sigue operando como si, y cito, no hubiera pasado nada. Corral también comenta que los demócratas, republicanos y la Casa Blanca están trabajando para solucionar el dilema. Para KVAQ-TV en Bronzeville, Víctor Ortega.
Texas SNAP recipients will receive new restrictions on their Lone Star cards following a new Senate bill promoting healthier lifestyles for families.
Chips, cookies, and sweetened drinks are just a few of the items restricted for the Lone State SNAP program. After the state's request of a waiver to promote healthy eating through food stamps, Senate Bill 379 was created, adding a more in-depth list of what items should not be purchased with SNAP. Items include soda, candy, taffy, chocolate-covered nuts or raisins, potato chips, corn chips, and juice with less than 50% fruit juice. Victoria Gutierrez is a SNAP recipient who provides for her 2 children.
Now I actually find it a little bit more useful for the simple fact that I think that it is important that, we do buy nutritious things that are healthy and help our children. I mean, a lot of the times you do see everybody buying junk food. Maybe it's a good thing that they cut it off because a lot of kids are just not very, they don't eat healthy.
Gutierrez says after the announcement of new restrictions, she was upset at first, but now understands the choice was wise, so money spent on food would go to groceries. According to a retailer notice from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the new restrictions will be into effect on April 1st.
For more information or questions for retailers, you can contact EBT Retailer Ops at hhs.tx.gov or visit hhs.texas.gov for a complete list of what items will be restricted.
No thrones, no crowns, no kings. That's what Rio Grande Valley residents protested this past Saturday. Here's our reporter, Jose Rodriguez, with the story.
I'm here on U.S. Business 83 in downtown McAllen in the Valley's 3rd No Kings protest. Demonstrators of all demographics have shown up, including Generation X and baby boomers.
No kings, no bombs, no billionaires! No kings, no bombs, no billionaires!
Baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z showed that their age gap does not get in the way of practicing the First Amendment to make their voices heard. Signs and tablings were held by numerous people at the No Kings protest, from 16th Street all the way to Bicentennial Boulevard on Old U.S. Business 83 in McAllen on March 28th. No Kings Day serves as an event for communities to unite against the actions under the Trump administration and practice the freedom of speech through protesting. From the various generations in attendance, Gen X and baby boomers shared the same sentiment in supporting the cause to speak out against the current administration. Indiana native and Palmview resident Diana Van Middlesworth has been protesting since the 1960s and adds that until the day she stops protesting, she can't complain due to her not exercising her freedom of speech.
And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I vote for who I feel gets the job done. He didn't get it done the first time, and he's definitely driving our economy into the ground. Now, of course, his people are making lots of money, but not us. We're not able to pay bills. I see people struggling every day to even get groceries. It's a true failure on the part of the government.
Similar in age group, Mission resident and Vietnam veteran Robert Dallaire shares he previously participated in protests against the war in the Middle East. He says he supports No Kings and has attended all protests since the Valley's first event. He adds, due to his disagreement with Trump's agenda on foreign conflict, ICE, and immigration, he does not believe the United States has a sensible leader.
It means that I haven't given up yet. It means that there's still hope. I'm going to be talking to my friends, making sure that they vote, and I'm not going to tell them who to vote for or what to vote for. I'm going to tell them to vote, because that is the one thing they can't take away from us.
No somos uno, no somos 100, somos millones, cuéntenos bien.
During the protest, a few anti-protesters drove past the crowd on the same street. The individuals had Israeli and Trump flags attached to their vehicles and were shouting at protesters while driving away. Edinburgh native Lynette Martinez says it's important for everyone to speak up and disagrees with the Trump administration and ICE. She says their impact have criminalized the Hispanic community after the killings of Renee Good and Alex Peretti.
It's really great to see everybody coming out. Everybody's been really friendly, so I'm just happy to see all of the generations here.
McAllen resident Aziz Showery shares he's from a family of immigrants and supports the American way and message of by the people, for the people. In the 60s, Showery disagreed with the U.S. involvement in Vietnam and organized a demonstration near the Newman Catholic Center with his classmate at the time. As this protest is not his first rodeo, Showery says he wants the community of McAllen to be shown as a community of Americans who want to do the right thing and look out for each other.
If you believe in the American way and you grew up learning that, because my parents came here as immigrants and I grew up as an immigrant child, and I learned that if you don't take care of the people here, then this country will not last long. It's got to be for the people, by the people.
For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Jose Rodriguez.
Last week on Saturday, March 23rd, the UTRGV Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics, Chase Conk, announced head coach for the men's basketball team Cahill Fennell has accepted the head coaching position at Western Michigan. According to UTRGV Athletics, with 2 seasons as head coach, Fennell made a name for himself and the team, bringing the Vaqueros with 35 wins in 2 years, including 19 wins this season. KVAQ-TV reached out to the Associate Athletic Director for Communications, Daniel Elizondo, and he says as of now, the department will not have any comments on the vacant head coaching spot until the new head coach is hired. We will keep you updated as we receive information.
One UTRGV Vaquero is making history one swing at a time as the all-time leading home run hitter. Jasmine Espinosa with the story.
Out on the field, infielder Ermani Raygoza is rewriting program records. But aside from baseball, Raygoza enjoys his time at cookouts, quality time with his family, and shopping anytime he is out on the road.
Whenever I leave the field, I leave baseball here and just go hang out with my family, do other stuff, just relax.
Growing up in El Paso, Raygoza attended America's High School and later joined the Vaqueros in 2023. Despite being away from home, he says he did not experience any cultural changes in the Valley.
It's definitely a lot like back home. People are very welcoming here, and the Mexican food's outstanding here.
At the age of 3, Raygoza recalls his parents trying to figure out his talent. He says his parents found baseball to be something he really enjoyed.
According to my parents, when I was 3 years old, that's the only sport I liked. They tried putting me in other sports and definitely didn't work out.
Raygoza is now the all-time leading home run hitter with 33. The title was previously held by former team member Brandon Pimentel with 31 homers from 2022 to 2023. Raygoza's resilience in the field has become an everyday practice for him, which led him to where he is today.
Me, Steen, and Rob have our set routine going. But pre-practice, it's a series of soft toss and stuff like that, and that's something that never changes. Every day I hit, I do the exact same routine.
Although he earned the Southland Conference Hitter of the Week for the week of March 23rd, Raygoza says the honor is a team effort.
All the individual stuff, I don't forget the people that are there for me, and I don't really see it as just a me thing. I know it takes more than just me. Even though it's an individual award, there's guys that cheer me up every single day, and the coaches, I mean, I couldn't do it without them.
Baseball head coach Derek Padlock says Raygoza is an outstanding player who's relentless and refuses to give up.
I redshirted him his first year in here because we were really good at first base. But boy, all he did during his whole year of redshirt is work, and then of course now he got hopefully one of the best players in the conference again.
Matlock says Raygoza's best quality is being a team player.
He plays the game with passion, with fun. If he struggles, he doesn't really care. As long as the team does well, he's a team guy. That's a great quality he has.
Raygoza and the Vaqueros are back in action Tuesday, March 31st against the Rice University Owls at the Reckling Park in Houston. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Jasmine Espinosa.
Tomorrow, the Department of Communication will host COMMversation, a semesterly event featuring a guest speaker. According to the forecast, the semester speaker is a local celebrity. Multimedia journalist Samara Flores with the story.
Sunny days are in the forecast for tomorrow. A perfect day for a very special guest at UTRGV's COMMversation, a familiar face you might have seen on your TV.
I knew that I wanted to be in some form of journalism. I wasn't sure it was going to be the weather side. Again, that was kind of even a surprise to me, even though that was a hobby. I never thought I could put the two together.
Rain or shine, the man behind the forecast, and also a local celebrity, chief meteorologist for KRGV, Tim Smith, is expected to make an appearance at COMMversation, happening tomorrow. Before being awarded National Weather Person of 2026, Smith had his start in the radio industry in Indiana 1981. Later, transitioning into broadcasting in Texas, where he became chief meteorologist for KRGV in 1984. Smith plans to educate students in making an impact in different professions, starting with the impact that we make on others.
Never underestimate the impact that you have on people when you meet them. And if you're fortunate enough to be in a position of some kind of influence, whether it, whatever it may be, remember that people will remember how you make them feel.
Smith encourages students to prepare for a rapid and constant evolving industry such as communications that has changed drastically since he joined.
Communication is an amazing career. I will say that, study the latest trends very carefully because the industry is changing rapidly.
COMMversation is an engaging recruitment and retention event hosted by the Department of Communication to connect prospective and current students with faculty, other students, and alumni. Professor and Department Chair for the Department of Communications, Dr. Jennifer Lemansky, says these events are designed to help students discover how a degree in communication can help shape their future.
Well, I think it gives them a really good insight into the real working world. And it also gives them a chance to ask questions, do some networking, and really get an off-campus sort of feel for what their classes are going to help them do.
Lemansky highlights the importance of bringing in speakers with experience in the communications industry to spark inspiration within students.
It just helps to have somebody who is working in the field and has been there in the classroom and is now out working in communication to really be inspirational and kind of, give them an idea for the future.
Chasing your dreams and taking a chance is the most important part about pursuing a career. Smith leaves us with a few more words before his appearance tomorrow.
I just encourage you to follow your dreams, because if it's something you want to do, go for it. Take that chance, because you never know what tomorrow holds.
The Department of Communications encourages all students to stop by the COMMversation event happening March 31st from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Student Union Theater for free pizza, merch, and more. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Samara Flores.
The UTRGV Campus Activities Board is giving students a chance to experience medieval times with UTRGV's first ever Renaissance Fair. Multimedia journalist Ian Juarez tells us more.
Behind me is the chapel lawn on the Edinburgh campus, where on April 9th, students will be able to experience the Renaissance Fair.
I wanted something more whimsy, fun, something that had like personality to it.
Dress the part, rule the realm. That's the slogan for the Night Out Renaissance Fair. Campus Activities Board Student Experience and Special Events Chair, Deyanira Ramos, says the fair is kind of like a sister event to the Union Con.
I want people to be able to see that there's like beauty on campus, and I want to bring that out. We're hoping to maybe like put on a little show, like a little theater show, little play going on.
Other events within the fair include archery, jousting, wand and shield making, tarot readings, and a costume contest. Ramos says the Campus Activities Board is teaming up with various organizations such as the Young Democratic Socialists of America and the Sweet and Savory Society to bring the campus community together. Co-chair of the Young Democratic Socialists of America, Dresden Sanchez, says he encourages anyone to show up at the fair and participate.
Help people have fun, I guess, introduce people to a new experience. Also, to recruit, right? I think it'll be an opportunity for people to get to know us and maybe decide that, that they get along with us and maybe show up to a meeting or two.
Any updates on the event can be found on the Campus Activities Board Instagram and Discord server. There will be a tabling event to promote the fair on both campuses at the following times. Monday, March 30th on the Brownsville campus at the Music, Science, and Learning Center from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Monday, April 6th at the Edinburgh campus Chapel Lawn from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Ian Juarez.
Thanks for watching, vaqueros.
Catch our next newscast at 8:30 a.m. Monday, April 6th on VCast monitors and select social media. For KVAQ-TV, I'm Dayton Trevino.
And I'm Perla Cortez. Peace up, vaqueros.